Good evening, good evening, good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called Behavior Modification Program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused, so folks, you know the drill. Please read the article, share on all your social media. Also included in there, excuse me, is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever actually does see through with their threat. Sorry, allergies. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Education Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and get clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Please excuse me a moment. Excuse me. Trigger warning 2. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised. Alright folks, where we left off, shall we? Response. The FDA disagrees. Anybody who's sane would disagree. Labeling does not take away any of the physical as well as psychological risks that the FDA has laid out here plain as day. It addresses absolutely nothing. Just saying. People need to stop smoking crack. The FDA considered all available data and information, and we have determined that the labeling or a change in labeling cannot correct or eliminate the unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury. Because, kids, proper labeling is not going to change the power input in those devices. It's not going to change the fact that you're still shocking the child at just below the lethal limit, nor does it in any way prevent second or third degree burns. It literally does not address any of the risks that have been laid out extremely plainly throughout this document. And it can't, because you're still using it. It's like arguing with a 3-year-old. Regardless of how the device is labeled, the individual subject to it will receive shocks intended to be painful and will continue to be subject to the physical and psychological risks we have described in this rulemaking. Thank you! I do love when somebody comes out with logic. It lifts a burden off my soul. Particularly since we have been arguing in circles with these people for decades. It does not compute to them. They cannot comprehend nor understand that you don't have to use punishment in order to help someone with their behavior. They also can't seem to wrap their brains around the fact that corporal punishment does not in any way, shape, or form make any permanent changes in behavior. Okay? Jeez. No manner of labeling will correct or eliminate these risks, so the device will continue to present the same unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury. In fact, we have well-documented ER documents that state this very same thing. Okay? The commenter does not offer any alternative except to limit the number of vulnerable individuals subject to the unreasonable and substantial risk, which is batshit insane. So it hurts, and obviously it ends people in hospitals. So if you just only use it for the extremely severe, Karen, do you think that it is a wonderful idea to use a device just shocking people just below the lethal limit on the most vulnerable of the students at that school, and consider that actually a good, kind, humanitarian comment? Do you understand or comprehend how monstrous that statement is? To only use it on certain ones who are so severe, and who gets to determine what that severity is? Particularly since autism is fluid. I can be more severe on one day, seem like giving an Oscar-worthy performance of pretending to be a neurotypical the next, and the third day be damn near nonverbal. So tell me, how are we going to determine those who are deemed severe enough to go on a human shock collar? Well, obviously the nonverbals. Again, see my comment of calling you a monster. To use that on the most vulnerable. To even try to make that argument, you should have every single license ripped away from you, and you should not be allowed within a 50 block radius of any residential program, because you're insane. There are mad scientists I would trust over you. Okay? Legitimately. Alright? The FDA makes that very clear here. The FDA also makes it clear that proper labeling does not change the risk factors in regards to how dangerous these devices are. It doesn't unshock the kids. It doesn't miraculously heal second to third degree burns, and it doesn't somehow protect people from being put in a catatonic state. My God. Does nobody look in the mirror and listen to themselves anymore? This is monstrous. And what's even more insane is our federal government still continues to refuse to investigate. It is still not in the news, in spite of the fact that even after 2012, this shit's still going on. We're going to go ahead and close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. You know the drill, folks. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time this afternoon, folks. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you all again here in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.